I'm presenting my agentic workflow, customer intel mining, and bid brief generator. The business problem that I have picked is related to cold pursuits, meaning the kind of pursuits where you directly receive an RFI or RFP document without any prior communication or engagement or discussion with the client. Cold pursuits are a significant share of our pipeline and often come with compressed timelines and limited scope of interaction with the client. This means that by the time your first interaction with the client is scheduled, it's on day 2 or 3 of receiving the RFP document. Internally, this is the time when the team is being onboarded, which leads to team engaging with the client before context and alignment of the opportunity being fully processed and in place. Often we feel that these early discovery sessions or Q&A sessions are innocent Q&A sessions and open forums to discuss. But the thing that we keep forgetting is you are being evaluated at every step and the client is always watching you, which means missed critical customer signals and generic questions can erode your credibility and can lead to missed opportunities for greater clarification of your understanding of clients' requirements. This also hurts your credibility in the longer run. And one important point to note is that manual preparation of Intel dossier, a customer Intel dossier, requires significant amount of time and research, which leads the team to focus more on the written requirements as against trying to understand what was the original intent or what are the main pain points because of which the client has actually brought out this RFP opportunity. Moving on to what the agentic workflow does is it's a simple workflow wherein it parses the RFP document, extracts information like objective and scope, evaluation criteria, timeline, governance and compliance requirements, customer priorities, and non negotiables, penalties, or SLAs, if any, and then develops an opportunity signal map for the second agent to guide it as to how the mining should look like. So the customer intel miner now takes two passes at extracting information. One, when it develops a baseline information report, wherein it gives you what the company name is, what it does, the kind of industry it works in, and stuff like that. And the second pass is based on this research planner pointers that it has extracted and tries to deep dive on the points or the signals extracted from the opportunity document and gathers pinpointed information. Once all the intel is gathered, it sends it to report generator. The task of the report generator is to you have provided a template for the reports. The report generator provides two readily usable deliverables. One is a CXO report, and the second one is an ops report. CXO reports are majorly targeted towards the CXO suite. It will not be more than 2 or 3 pages, and it will be more strategic in nature. It will tell the CXO suite as to why this opportunity has come now, as in why did the customer suddenly decide to pursue this opportunity now? What is happening in the client's world, the changes in the industry, if they have acquired another organization, or if there are any compliance requirements that they are looking for, moving from legacy things to updated technology. It extracts win themes from the customer signals and the information that it has mined, puts together a list of key risks and mitigations, assumptions, and a list of questions that you can ask the customer to further develop on your understanding. The ops brief report generally contains information like, so this is more suited for larger audience wherein you have your delivery team, you have your bid management team, you have your sales team, you have your architects. It gives them information about the customer's current technology landscape, the operational context in which the client works in, and what are those context and shortcomings, what are the implications of those context and shortcomings in our solution design, the kind of delivery approach we should take, win themes, response structure if the client has not provided one already, and again assumptions and validation questions followed by all the sources from where it has extracted information. The final part is the QA gate. Now the work of this QA gate is to take both these reports, run through it, and try to see if if any of these prior agents have hallucinated and have unsubstantiated information in the report. Now, what it does is it will go through the entire thing. It will generate a confidence score, and wherever it sees unsubstantiated claims, it will remove all those points. Either it will try to substantiate them, try to gather more information from the intel generated before. If it is not able to, then it will remove that unsubstantiated claim altogether and generate the CX and ops report again to showcase the final reports. Let me quickly try to run this demo for you. I had mentioned earlier, the opportunity parser is now trying to understand what all information is provided in the RFP document, and it will extract necessary information and create an opportunity map, sorry, research plan for the customer intel miner. I have a report already generated in advance. We'll wait for some time.
Meanwhile, you can explain what each module node is doing.
So yeah, as I was mentioning, the opportunity parser will parse the document, provide a research plan to customer intel miner. Customer intel miner currently has web research access. I have provided that tool to the customer intel miner, and but then there are guardrails that are put in place. It can only extract information from trustworthy public sources such as financial statements, if any interviews the CXO suite has done in the recent past, any podcasts, press releases, and other things like that. And it has been provided the kind of scoring wherein it prioritizes the customer remotes and the financial reports and the releases as the priority and rest of the lesser known reports as later. Then once the intel is extracted, the report generator has been provided with templates to present the information in a particular manner as to how the intel card should look like, how win theme should be presented, what the customer is looking for out of these win themes, how we should approach a win theme, what is the plan, and how do we tie this directly to the opportunity. So report generator creates two deliverables, the CXO file as well as the ops file. Then comes the QA gate in action, wherein it tries to go through both the reports end to end and generate a report. If at all there are no hallucinations, it will just say passed and passed. But if there is a hallucination that has happened, so it says CXO brief pass, ops brief pass. There were no major changes, hence it says it's passed. But if at all there were changes, then what it does is it redos the entire report for CXO as well as ops and tells you what all corrections were made. For situations like these, I made sure that we have a pre-done report handy. So in the previous run that I had run, it needed certain fixes. There were some hallucinations that the QA gate had identified, and it tells you the kind of fixes that were applied, the concerns that it had, and the assumptions still present despite making the changes, and then it generates the CXO and ops brief all over again. So CXO brief, as it is more targeted towards the executive, tells you what's happening in the client's world, why this initiative now, the opportunity, what the opportunity is asking for at high level, and the win themes that we should focus on. Each win theme has a template that says what the customer outcome should be, what our approach to it should be, the proof plan, how do we tie this back to the opportunity, and the evidence from where it extracted this win theme. The risk and mitigation plan, what should we emphasize in the proposal? So when we are drafting the response and when we are interacting with the client, what all should we emphasize to sway the client in our favor, the assumptions and validation questions that we need to ask. And finally, followed by the sources and confidence table. So it will tell you from where all it has extracted all the information, what date they were published on, and what all the sources were used for, and the kind of confidence the agent has on each of these sources. Moving on to the business impact, first and foremost, the time or effort reduction that we see using this is massive. So as I had mentioned earlier, the manual effort that is needed in creating the customer intel dossier is significant. It takes anywhere between 3, 4 or 5 hours to create it. And even then, we are mostly bound with limitations of being able to run Google search. But with this agent, it is reduced to less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes, considering the fact that a run may time out or you may face some issue, so you might need to run it again once. So that's why 30 minutes. This creates one source of customer intel, like the dossier is your go-to for all the information required with respect to the client and the RFP in question. The second business impact that it brings to you is early win theme development. So since the agent is designed as such that it extracts win themes from the customer intel as well as the RFP documents, and it gives you close to 5, 6 win themes early on. Now what this does is, when our internal team is interacting with the client, they can drill down on certain information from this and try to converge the number of win themes from 5, 6 to 2, 3, and then go on and include it in the response document that we develop. Next is improved readiness and solution quality. Now that we have a coherent source of truth for all the information related to client and the RFP, all the team members onboarded for a particular opportunity get to start from the same page. They have all similar kind of understanding with respect to what the client requirement, pain point, intent is with respect to this RFP. This leads to a reduction in rework at a later stage when we suddenly realize, oh, the understanding was wrong or uneven between two different stakeholders, and which leads to redoing the entire work all over again. The format is very repeatable across pursuits, which improves reliability and can become one of the best practices going forward for all the opportunities. And the most important, it reduces risk of unsupported claims. So as I had mentioned, the agent substantiates all of the information that has been provided, provides you with a source table where it mentions very specifically from where each of its information comes from. So you can go back and check and make sure that nothing is made up or is wrong or miscommunicated. Limitations that I have seen from in this agentic workflow. One, token size limitation. Token size limitation because the QA gate agent has to review both the reports, check for hallucinations, and if there are any, then it has to generate both the reports from the start all over again. This is very token intensive, and the agent had failed quite a few times in the runs. So the solution that I found to it was, I have put for all the other agents, the model that I'm using is ChatGPT 4 because the token size requirement is not as intensive. But the QA gate agent has GPT model 5 because of the token size requirement. So it is token heavy when there is hallucination. The current agent is solely dependent on public sources and is currently only tested on single document RFPs. So there are RFPs wherein you have 2, 3, 4 documents, but for now, for the purpose of this, I have tested it only with one single document RFPs. The linear structure of OpenAI Agent Builder limits parallel execution and complex nesting. And most importantly, this accelerates your preparation, but as we all say, human in the loop is necessary. It does not replace the SME judgment. Last but not the least, the scalability and future potential. Then extension to this agentic workflow is to be able to feedback your response document and ensure or check that the customer signals and win themes are reflected consistently throughout your response document for opportunities that are not just cold opportunities but regular as well, wherein you have had prior customer engagements. If you integrate this with your CRM, it can help in bring in data from your prior engagements with the client, the notes, or and bring the relationship context that you may have. For it to become more powerful, we can also integrate it with market research reports, which will help you enrich this report further and also bring you high level details of the customer intel, competitor intel. You can create a best practice out of it, that every opportunity that comes your way, this you generate these reports and upload this in your OneDrive or SharePoint, and it becomes a go-to resource for all the opportunities to gather information about the RFP and the customer. And last but not the least, you can, so there are state variables defined in these to be able to change the geography and language of your response and RFPs. So this can empower you to work across region and on multilingual pursuits.